Welcome to a new Halloween story. Yep, and guess what? Happy Halloween. Yep, today is now officially October 31, and it's now Halloween. And right now it's 2:22 a.m. I mean, oh my God. Sorry. It's now 6:22 a.m. and I'm and I and I'm really gotta have to read the story faster because my mom is gonna wake me up any minute because every school week she wakes me up at around 6:30 a.m. just to get me ready, just to get me dressed up, eat breakfast, and we'll be on our way to school. Okay, so because of that, I'm gonna have to try to read this story faster before she wakes up. And as you can see here, the story is called Halloween Props. And right here it says a spooky story about a young man who crashes his car in a deserted island on All Hallows Eve and goes looking for help at an old dilapidated house. All right, well, let's see what this story has in store for us today. And as you know, I'll try to upload a special Halloween story before the day is over, but I don't know if I'll be able to because I like I said in the last video when I was reading the story Bobby, I don't know if I'll be able to do it because I'm having like a few technical difficulties with my phone. But I don't know. But even though that means, but whatever happens, if I can make it happen or not, I'm just glad that you guys have been watching my Halloween stories till the end. But nonetheless, let's get to it. So sit back, relax, and I'll sit back, relax, and I am all locked on as I read the story Halloween Props. Anyway, without further ado, let's begin. It was Halloween, and a young man named Robert was driving home from work. Every house he passed was decorated with Halloween props like carved pumpkins, plastic skeletons, black paper bats, and witches on broomsticks. It reminded him of all the fun he had as a child, going from house to house, trick or treating. Distracted by all of the Halloween decorations, he missed his turn off and had to take the long way back to his house. The light was beginning to grow dim and the road was filled with twists and turns. As he came around a sharp corner, his car skidded on some loose gravel. He lost control and his car slid off the road and plowed into a ditch. For a few moments, Robert was dazed and just sat in his car, trying to regain his senses. After making sure he wasn't hurt, he got out and surveyed the damage. Apart from a few scratches, the car looked fine. The problem was that the car was stuck in a ditch, and the rear wheels were raised a few inches from the ground. He would have to call a tow truck. Robert checked his pockets and discovered, to his dismay, that he had left his mobile phone at work. He was in the middle. He was in the middle of nowhere and had to find a phone. He waited for a few minutes, but when no cars passed by, he decided to start walking. About a mile down the road, he finally spotted a house in the distance. When he came to the gate, there was an old, rusted truck seated in the driveway. The, the door of the truck was wide open, swinging in the breeze. There was no one inside. There was nobody inside. So he continued on up to the house. It was a dilapidated old building, and some of the shutters were hanging off the windows. There, there was an eerie silence about the house. The only thing he could hear was the beating of his own heart and the low whistle of the cold October wind. Every now and then, a weather vane on the roof creaked as it swung around. Robert knocked on the front door a few times, but there was no answer. He was about to give up and try to find another house when he noticed something unusual. On the other side of the house, there were some Halloween props and decorations. One of them was a rocking chair with a ragged scarecrow sitting on it. The scarecrow was wearing a skeleton mask, and as he got closer, he noticed a putrid smell. Stopping in his tracks, he stared at the scarecrow. Something doesn't look right. Between the clumps of straw, he thought he could see something that looked like human skin. Filled with a strange mixture of fear and curiosity, he slowly reached out and pulled at the straw. As it fell apart, he was horrified to discover that beneath the straw there was a dead body. The skin was purple and it was decomposing. Robert was still trying to recover from the shock when he heard footsteps coming from the back of the house. Who's there? Who's there? Said a voice. An old man emerged from behind the house, and as soon as he spotted Robert, he started into surprise. Who are you? What are you doing here? He cried. Robert was trembling. "Th- There, there, there's a dead body," he croaked. The old man rushed over and examined the scarecrow, pulling at the straw. He revealed the disgusting face of an old woman. Millie! Robert, Millie! Shouted the old man, his voice shaking. Millie, what happened? He turned to Robert, his eyes filling with tears. Help me carry her into the house, he cried. Robert didn't know what to do. Robert didn't know what to do. The man lifted her by the shoulders and Robert picked up her feet. Together they carried her up the front steps and into the house. They brought her into an empty room and laid her body down on the cold wooden floor. Stay here while I go call the police, the man shouted. Before Robert had a chance to reply, the old man was hurrying down the corridor. Robert stood there, still shaking, staring at the dead woman lying at his feet. After a while, staring down at the dead woman lying at his feet. After a while, he looked around and realized that there was no furniture. The house seemed to be completely bare, and it was covered with cobwebs. There weren't even any light bulbs in the fixtures. He waited and waited, but the old man never returned. After 20 minutes had passed, he decided to try and find the old man. As soon as he walked out of the corridor, he saw the phone. It was lying on the floor at the end of the corridor, and the line had been ripped out of the wall. With a growing sense of unease, he cautiously explored the rest of the house. There was no sign of the man. Robert began to panic and ran out the back door. He didn't know where he was going, but he just kept running. After about half an hour, he came to a small general store that laid at the side of the road. Bursting into the shop, sweat pouring down his brow, he begged the shocked young woman behind the counter to call the police. She asked him what was wrong, but he was so out of breath that he couldn't answer. Exhausted from all the running, he sat down on the floor and tried to calm himself down. When the police arrived, Robert told him what had happened. He got into the back of the patrol car and directed him back to the old dilapidated house. The police officers went into the house and spent 20 minutes searching it from top of the house, from top to bottom. They didn't find anything there was no dead body and there was no sign of the dead body and no old man. The house had been vacant for years. The truck in the driveway had been abandoned almost a decade ago. Robert kept insisting that he had seen the dead body with his own eyes. He gave a description of the old man to the police, but it was clear they didn't believe him. A few days later, Robert went to the police station and asked if they had come up with any information about the old man. The, the police officer gave him a strange look and said, Actually, we did. We checked the property records to see who owned the house. Then we did a little asking around." "That's great," said Robert. "What did you find?" "Well, there was an old man who used to live in that house. Seemed like he fit your description. He had a wife too. She disappeared. She disappeared and no one heard from her again. Some people suspect that he murdered her and buried her in the yard, but there was never any real evidence. Just a lot of loose talk and rumors spread by the locals. Nothing concrete until now." "Have you arrested him?" asked Robert. "We'd like to," said the policeman. "But there's just one problem." "What's that?" asked Robert. The policeman gave a wry smile and said, "He died in 1963 on Halloween night." Oh my. So that would mean that Robert has seen a ghost for real. He has seen the ghost of the old man that must have murdered or buried his wife. Though when he was carrying the dead body of the young woman. When he was carrying the dead body, yeah, that must have been crazy for Robert, because I guess he came face to face with the ghost of the old man. That was great. That was totally an awesome story. But that's it for this video, guys. Yeah, so this was the story, Halloween props. Let me know if you guys enjoyed the video, which I know that deep down you love it so much, and my other Halloween stories. So without the other way, thank you guys so much for sticking around to the end. Till next time, I'll try to see you guys I'll see you guys in my last Halloween story premiere. Yeah, I'll premiere my last Halloween story, and hopefully I'll try to upload it to YouTube by the time before Halloween ends. But I don't know. I'll try for you guys. But yeah, I'm gonna get going now. Thank you guys for watching this video, and peace out.